say they will review the transfer of notorious Ontario killer Paul Bernardo.
Notorious serial killer and rapist Paul Bernardo has been moved from a maximum security penitentiary to a medium security prison. These events have sparked nationwide outrage. Usually, the outcome of a serial killer is life behind bars, and a Where Are They Now episode wouldn't really be needed. However, some shady shenanigans have been going down in Canada recently, and we gotta talk about it. Stick around as we dive into one of the most disturbing chapters in Canadian history on Where Are They Now, here on Before They Were Famous. My name is Katie. Be sure to give us a follow wherever you're watching this video. Now let's get into it. Paul Bernardo, along with his former wife Karla Homolka, infamously known as the Ken and Barbie Killers, committed a series of heinous crimes. Bernardo, born on August 27, 1964 in Scarborough, Ontario, sexually assaulted over 14 women, as well as kidnapped, tortured, and murdered 2 teenage girls in the early 90s. Additionally, he was charged with the manslaughter of his then-wife's 15-year-old sister. Homolka spent 12 years behind bars for her involvement in the crimes against the 2 girls who tragically lost their lives. Their relationship was marked by Bernardo's controlling behavior. He dictated how Karla dressed, ate, and behaved, and she seemingly submitted to his dominance. Reports indicate that Karla was aware of his sexual assaults on other women during their time together, with one victim alleging that Homolka even videotaped the attack. A police sketch of Bernardo was created and made public, leading to an overwhelming number of tips. Eventually, Paul was forced to provide saliva, blood, and hair samples for the cases on sexual assaults, but it took 2 years for the DNA to be tested. Bernardo developed a disturbing fixation on Karla's younger sister Tammy and orchestrated a plan to rape her with Karla's assistance. Their first attempt occurred in July 1990 when Karla drugged Tammy's meal with Valium. However, Tammy woke up, foiling their plan. The second attempt took place in December of the same year when they laced her drink with sleeping pills. Karla then held a rag soaked in a general anesthetic over Tammy's mouth while Paul continued to rape her. Tragically, Tammy began vomiting and stopped breathing, and their attempts to revive her were unsuccessful. Shockingly, it was reported that after Tammy's death, Paul and Karla even role-played the encounter, with Karla wearing Tammy's clothes and pretending to be her. Their gruesome crimes escalated with the abduction and torture of their first murder victim. They brought her back to their residence where they recorded themselves raping and torturing her before ultimately taking her life. They dismembered her body, placing the parts in 8 cement blocks that they dumped in Lake Gibson. Their second victim suffered a similar horrifying fate, enduring 3 days of torture in their basement until her death. Then they dismembered her as well, and her remains were disposed in a ditch. Karla was faced with the choice of accepting a 12-year prison sentence or facing charges of 3 murders. She opted for the 12-year term and testified against Bernardo. So the question arises, why has such a dangerous man, who has already served 30 years in jail, been moved to a lower level of security? Furthermore, why was the move carried out discreetly, with the victims' families learning of it only afterward? Thus far, no reasons have been provided for the transfer. This development raises numerous concerns and leaves many pondering why something as grave as this is being treated so cavalierly. That's it on this episode of Where Are They Now? Let us know in the comments if this type of story interests you.